So here's our beautiful flatfish, and this species is a fluke, also known as a summer flounder. Flatfish have both eyes on the top side of their body and also contains 4 fillets, 2 on the top side and 2 on the belly, which are usually much smaller. The gills are located right beside the pectoral fin, and this empty looking pocket here is where the guts are, which makes sense as it's right above the pelvic fin. Now firstly, we're going to remove the scales from our flounder. So into a bowl of cold water it goes, and I'll begin to descale the fish with the fish scaler, moving from the tail towards the head. Make sure to also get the edges where the fins are located. This is an important area, as we'll soon discover. Once most of the scales have been removed, back onto the cutting board it goes, and I'll begin by removing the head. And we want to run our knife right behind the pectoral fin in a U-shaped pattern. Now to avoid cutting into the guts, I'll lift the pectoral fin and then make my first incision. I'll make my second incision around, ensuring I keep my knife at an angle as we want to preserve as much flesh as possible. I'll flip the fish over and do the exact same thing. We'll then use the base of our knife to slice through the backbone and disconnect the head. When doing it this way, the guts are removed at the same time. And there's our fish head, as well as the guts. Now inside the cavity along the backbone, there's the bloodline behind a thin membrane. And we want to cut through that membrane to expose that bloodline. We'll place into our bowl of cold water, and using our bamboo skewers, I'll scrape out the bloodline so that it doesn't leak into the flesh when we go to fillet. You can also use your index finger to do this as well. Next, we'll dry our fish completely, as it's super important to fillet fish while it's dry and not wet, as dry flesh is less likely to tear. Next, I'll use the tip of my knife to remove any leftover scales that we were unable to remove earlier, focusing mainly on the edges of our fish beside the fins. Now we can begin to fillet. So we'll start our incisions along the center, which contains a bone that separates the two fillets. Next is the tail, as well as the edges. Now we do this so that we can enter our knife from the center and easily exit from the tail and edges of the fish. When making your incision along the edges, you don't need to go deep whatsoever. Also, try to go along the very edges so we can preserve what is called the skirt in English or engawa in Japanese. Now that we have our incisions, place your knife in the center, and once you feel the bone, press down and flex the tip of your knife against that bone while continuing to make long strokes towards the edge of the flounder. Now right here is the sound you want to hear when filleting a flatfish. And this means that the knife is running along the bone and not the flesh. As a beginner while filleting, gently lifting the fillet as you go will help you see where you're cutting and to stay close to that bone. And there's our beautiful first fillet, perfectly smooth, with no gashes or tears in the flesh. And the skeleton, which has absolutely no flesh on there. Next, we'll do the same thing on the other fillet, making long clean strokes against the bone. As you can see, there's that bone along the center which separates the two fillets. And there's our second fillet. Beautiful. And this is what you want to see from the top side, no flesh whatsoever. I'll wipe my blade to remove any oils, and we'll do the exact same thing on the belly side. Now these two fillets on the belly side are extremely small, and this entire flounder only weighs 1 pound. Keep in mind, the smaller the fish, the harder it is to fillet, as you have a lot less flesh to work with and will need to be that much more precise. However, it's definitely great practice, as larger fish will be much easier to fillet afterwards. Now this skirt or engawa is used for sushi and in Japan is a prized piece of meat. I'm not a sushi chef, so I like to include it in my fish stock. Now starting with the left side fillet at the tail, I'll begin working my way up towards the head. Another technique is to place the fillet down against the blade while flexing your knife and slicing through the other side. This is a more advanced technique as you're somewhat blind, but it works really well with knives that bend. And there's our first fillet on the belly, as you can see, nice and clean. I'll do the last and final fillet. And again, flexing my knife against the bone to exit through the edge of the fish. And here's our final fillet. And there's a small amount of roe here which indicates the beginnings of a pregnancy. And here's our skeleton, which is called a rack, as you can see, completely cleaned. and this is why we make our incisions on the edges so we can preserve the engawa. Speaking of engawa, we're going to remove them from our fillet. So simply run your finger along the seam to separate, then slice it off. And there we are. Next, this is where the rib bones of a flatfish usually are, so we'll remove them like so. I'll do the same thing with the other fillets, removing any bones before I slice off the engawa. I'll trim the end so it's nice and neat. And there we are. And finally, our last fillet. And there's a small amount of bloodline here, so I'll simply slice that off. And we can use all these trimmings for a stock. So here's our entire flatfish. We have the rack, which should be nice and clean, the 2 top side fillets, and the 2 belly side fillets. Lastly, I'll show you how to remove the skin, and this technique is for any fillet of fish. Make an incision a couple centimeters or so above the tail, flex your knife flat, and confidently saw your way towards the head of the fillet. And make sure to firmly grab the skin at the tail while doing so. And here we have our skinless fillet. And it's best to serve it this side up for presentation. Now once more, make an incision at the tail, flex your knife flat, hold the skin at the tail, and confidently saw your way to the other side.